I had several privileges po, fortune in life. As young po as 27, I was sent to Rome to do further studies. And since yung binigay po sa aking course is on Salesian spirituality, on Saint John Bosco, yung kanyang charism, yung kanyang buhay, yung kanyang ministry, specifically for the poor and the abandoned youth. Nevertheless, mas malaki po yung scope ng course on spirituality. And one of them was to stay overnight in a Benedictine monastery. And specifically in Monte Cassino. 1,000 rooms. Well, I mean, we were not inside the monastery, of course, but in a place to be able to visit the Monte Cassino Benedictine monastery, you know, that was completely destroyed by the American bombing during World War II, but it was completely restored as before. 1,000 rooms. Cells, actually. Yung kwarto po, malaki na po ang sabihin natin, 3 meters by 2 meters, 6 square meters siguro. Malaki na po yun. It was really a cell. Could you imagine 1,000 monks gathered together? And when we were discussing what was the life of a monk with the so-called rule of Saint Benedict, one of my courses, the rule of Saint Benedict. Nakita niyo po doon, no? Regula. Latin word for rule. Hawak-hawak niya. Bakit po mahalaga itong 1,000 monks together, but then living each one like a hermit in a cell? Sabi ni Benedict, you may really be a hermit in the desert, praying, fasting, making penance and penitence. But whose feet will you wash? What service will you do to mankind? And that brought many of these hermits, they call them anchorites, together, because the greatest penance, maxima penitentia, is vita communis, common life. Alam niyo mga kapatid, hanggang ngayon totoo yan, ha? To live together is probably a greater penance than not eating, having, let's say, fasting, let's say even for 30 days and 30 nights or 40 days and 40 nights. Pero to stay with your spouse for the past 50 years, 25 years, 16 years, ang tawag po dyan, maxima penitentia. Me, being assigned in the community where I never chose po, with whom I would live. Never. If I am assigned, the provincial may say, "Oh, what work do you prefer?" Sabi ko po, in training ko to teach theology. O sige, diyan ka. And then, well, I didn't ask for it. And whoever he sends in the same community, that's the people I will love. So yung parang the way to heaven po is not penitence, it's not fasting, it's not simply prayer. Even if we are so engrossed in praying, the greater way to heaven is love. And love for God is signified also with love for each other. Now, lately po, dahil merong konting training that was given by the abbot of Our Lady of Montserrat Monastery in Mendiola, San Beda, no? University, with a companion priest, classmate ko since grade 4, magpunta kami doon to learn how to do iconography. And we had to stay for 5 full days in the monastery. Dito, nalasahan ko po ano ba ibig sabihin ng buhay ng isang monk. Hindi naman po talagang mahirap, pero dahil kasi meron silang university, they could only rise up at 5 to have prayers at 5:30 and Mass at 6. Open to the public po yung Mass. So practically po, tapos kami ng mga 6:45 before 7 for breakfast. And by 8:15, 8:30 po, simula na kami magtrabaho, labora. At yung trabaho yon is to write icons, no? Not paint. Tawag na writing icons. Which I realized that yung ibang monks po are either studying in order to rewrite. Kasi one of the major gifts to the world of the Benedictines is they have preserved really po, the wisdom, the knowledge of the world. They have the best and oldest, we could say, samples of the writings of the past because they transcribed it by writing before. Of course, ngayon, digital na po. No? But they have been copying and copying para magkaroon po ng kopya ang iba't ibang monasteries at ang iba't ibang mga libraries po. So like the rule of Saint Benedict in Latin was copied again and again and again and again. And to have that kind of transcription by hand, no? Well written in calligraphy, that is the work of the monks before. But now, as I said, they have their own assignment on how to preserve the legacy of wisdom of the world. They are very famous po for the worship. Kasi nga God first. It doesn't mean the others are second. No. God only. The only one. There is no second to God. Because everything are for God. And if anything, love for others is their way of loving God. God only. Sabi nga ni Teresa of Avila, solo Dios. Solo Dios. And so, you could see that before lunchtime would come, we would have a midday prayer. So, tigil po kami, 15 minutes before lunch, go to the church, have the midday prayer. After lunch po, take a brief rest. Kami po, diretso kagad. Sa pagtatrabaho, pagdating po ng 5 o'clock, prayer po ulit. Tapos doon, after supper, konting may supper, by around 6:30, pagdating po ng mga 7:15, prayer po ulit. Hanggang mag-aalas 9 na yun. Kasi kasama ng rosaryo, vespers, no? Tapos, pagdating po ng 9 o'clock, merong konting time for personal prayer. Prayer po ulit. Compline. So, practically, it's a life of prayer. The so-called divine office. Ang tingin kasi ng isang Benedictine monk is that it is their duty. It's their way of contributing to the church, to the life of the church, to the work of the church. Kasi Jesus Christ had 3 activities. One is teaching. He taught, di ba? Pangalawa is curing diseases, working for the so-called needs of the hopeless, of the lepers, and so forth. And ang pangatlo niya, he was praying. He would go to some lonely place, like a bit hilly or mountainous, and alone, he would pray early morning or the whole night. Yun ang ginagawa ni Jesus. Kaya tuloy nakikita ng mga tao na si Jesus, wow, no? Magaling magturo. At lalo na, magaling gumawa. Maging salita, maging galawa, words and deeds. He came out with a sense of authority. Bakit? Saan ba pinanggagalingan ng kanyang power, ng kanyang authority? Parang may dating. Bigat ang bigat eh. Hindi sa nakakapagpabigat, pero bigatin talaga. Hanga ang mga tao kay Jesus. Kasi si Jesus would pray. Kasi sa kanya, ang authority, the author, the only author, the creator of heaven and earth. That authority comes from above. At syempre, pag galing sa Diyos ang authority, may dating talaga. So, ganito po ang buhay. Karamihan po sa atin, it's in the working. Pero I believe even a husband and wife, they are supposed to be teaching their children, di ba? May work then of educating, of parang leading, guiding their children for good life skills. Pero most of the time, they work. And what is work? To feed the hungry children, to clothe the naked children, to give shelter, welcome to the stranger children, to find a roof over their heads. No? Trabaho yan eh. Ang tawag doon, curing, caring, no? Healing. Everything yan, tawag dyan. So there is the teach and cure. Pero I hope pati parents know how to pray. Balanse po yung tatlong yan. Ngayon po, sa religious life, parang may ibang religious emphasized ang praying. Yan po ang mga monks, Carmelites na pinag-usapan natin kaya si Mother Mary Bernard, Carmelite OCD, Discalced, Benedictines po, Contemplatives, Trappists, Gimaras, Balay-balay. Yan po. No? Emphasis on God as the only one. Kasi Mother Teresa is on curing. Pero meron po siyang 2 hours every day before the Blessed Sacrament. Every sister, 1 oras sa umaga bago magkatanghalian, 1 oras bago maghapunan. Personal yun. Pero may iba po, emphasize sila, teaching. Andiyan na po ang mga Jesuita, Order of Preachers, di ba? OP. Yan ang mga ating Dominicans. Palagay ko, andiyan na yung mga particular societies like St. Vincent de Paul. More of promoting, let's say, the training of the clergy. Pero meron din silang missions, di ba? Redemptorists are there to provide preaching to parishes na kulang sa pagtataguyod ng salita ng Diyos. So, there are these groups. Kami po, Salesians of Don Bosco, especially po, schools and education training centers, technical centers for youth because they are poor. Iba-iba pong emphasis kasi, no? Pero when you look at all three, na dapat kasama lahat ho sa rekado, kami may panahon ng dasal, may panahon ng pag-aaral, pagtuturo, at may panahon dapat pagkakalinga. Sino ba ang namumuno? Sabi ni Benedict, God. Kaya nga po regular, may order. God first. Your neighbor second. Yourself last. Tawag doon, joy. Jesus first, others second, yourself last. As servant. That order, Benedict put together in an organized, systemic fashion so that people who come together in a monastery, they are not on their own. They are ruled, ruled in an orderly fashion. Yun po ang piyesta nito. At yan po ang naging parang template ng Order of Friars Minor, OFM, Order of St. Augustine, OSA, yan po ang taga-Colegio de San Agustin, OAR, Order of Augustinian Recollects, San Sebastian po, College, Order of, Order of Preachers, OP, no? Yan, mga orders po yan. And they have a rule that was a bit patterned over the rule of Saint Benedict. I'd like to dwell on that kasi because maybe hindi natin masyadong pinapansin ang mga Benedictines. Pero ang laki po ng legacy na binigay nila sa mundo. Last but not least po, just wanted to share that Jesus Christ talk to his disciples, his apostles, not to be afraid, to speak what God has asked them to tell. And that is very, very important. Kasi there should be, sabi niya, no secret will be hidden, no? Nothing is to be concealed, but everything to be revealed. What you know in the darkness, speak in the light. What you hear whispered, be not afraid to proclaim on the housetops. Kung tatakot po kayo kasi babatikusin kayo, sabi niya, are not two sparrows just sold for kusing, no? Small coin. Small coin. Isang kusing. But yet no one of them falls to the ground without your Father's knowledge. You are worth more than many, many sparrows. No? Pero ito po sabi niya, natakot din si Isaiah. I am a man of unclean lips, living among people of unclean hearts. And so God cleanses him with an ember. An angel with thongs took an ember, nagniningas po, na coal, nilagay sa tongue, and it was purified. And now he says, he touched my tongue and said, see now, your lips are purged from sin. You are no longer unclean. This call of Isaiah, we find a prophet that is not afraid anymore to speak the truth before the kings of the southern kingdom of Judea. Of course, it was a menace, a threat, and so forth. Ngayon, mga kapatid, sa ating panahon, kailangan po natin ng prophetic people. Bow po ako kay Bishop Ambo, Bishop Pabilio, Bishop Sok. They have their bounden duty and they're exercising it po to speak, especially if it is about faith, morals, and kung lalong naaapakan ang mga maliliit. Kung hindi po na itatama, lalo na sa lipunan, sa pangkalahatan, ang hustisya, ang karapatan ng bawat tao na maging tunay na anak ng Diyos. I think, ito mga obispong to, kukunti lang po yan. Wala pong 120 yata sila. Wala pa yata sa Pilipinas Ilang kaya ang laiko? Di ba? Kayo po, sa inyong pamilya, kayo po ang simbahan. Kayo po ang disipulo ni Kristo. Kayo po ang the one that can say, God only. Solo Diyos. Primacy of God's work. So, ito po, sana sa ating araw na ito, sa weekend na to, bigyan po natin ng tunay na parang kunin po natin ang halimbawa ni Saint Benedict, ni Isaiah, mga disipulo ni Kristo, na bigyan talaga ng premium ng pinakatamang halaga at bigat ang authority ng Diyos.